there's no way that Jonah and Catherine can easily hide themselves with being stuck in this house. And welcome back once again to another bookish video. Now, last time you saw me talk about the book Caught in the Missing series, which is the 5th book in the series. Now, today, I'm going to be talking about the 6th book in the series, Risked. Now, this one is probably my favorite in the series so far, and I'm going to get into why that is. In case you haven't read this series, be aware that this is the 6th book in the series, so there are spoilers for the first 5. So I recommend, if you haven't read it yet, go and read them all, and then you can come back to this one. So, assuming everyone that doesn't want spoilers is gone, let's get into this. Jonah and Catherine have just gotten back from the time travel adventure of Caught, the previous book. So, we follow them now, starting out in their normal town where they live, until they are tackled and ambushed and sent back in time. This time, when they go back in time, we are in 1918 in Soviet Russia. Now, this time they are sent back with 2 other kids and their friend Chip. So, the 2 other kids happen to be the youngest son and daughter of the Romanov family, which are a wealthy, higher-up Russian family. We find out that these family is being held hostage in their home by the guards that are supposed to be protecting them. And so we are stuck in this house most of the time. And there's an issue because of the fact that there are so many guards, so many servants, and the family themselves, plus the family's dogs. It is very hard for Jonah and Catherine to stay out of the way of things and not be discovered, even though they are invisible. I think it works for this book. It makes it have that much more stakes, that much more tension. I was kind of on the edge of my seat reading this because you're like, one wrong move, one sneeze, one cough, one anything could destroy time, because there's no way that Jonah and Catherine can easily hide themselves with being stuck in this house and everyone being around. It felt claustrophobic, it felt tense, it felt like they had no way out. It rose the stakes very well, which is something this series is good at doing, because each book you read, the stakes get higher and higher as they go along. So, when I said that the family is being held hostage by the guards supposed to be protecting them, I'm going to give a little trigger warning for those of you that are against guns or have traumatic experiences with gun violence, because this book does not shy away from that, even though it was made for middle school age kids. It does not hold back its punches. It gets very dark very quickly. So if you're someone that does not like that sort of thing, then you can leave now. I'm not going to be mad at you. Just don't watch this review or read this book. Now, keep in mind, I am a grown woman now. I was assigned the first book in middle school as a reading curriculum by our reading teacher. And this book was dark even for me. This family is trapped by the guards that are supposed to be protecting them because there is a war going on. And so the family thinks that the guards there are there to protect them, when in reality they have this horrible plan to get rid of this higher up in society by executing him and his family in the early hours of the night. And that is where the stakes come in. Jonah and Catherine's job is to figure out how to get the 2 youngest kids out of that house without ruining time before they are executed in cold blood. And that the kids' names are Gavin and Daniela, which are the 2 youngest Romanovs, and have accidentally have traveled back in time with Jonah and Catherine. So the stakes are high because like the other books, they are trying to figure out how to fix time, yet still save the children's lives and get them out of there and back to the 20th century. And it gets dark because this book does not shy away from the gun violence. I mean, there were times when Jonah was forced to watch himself die, and not only watch himself die, but watch his sister die, just because a group of time agents were trying to prove a point on how risky going back in time to save them was. And it's like, holy crap, you did not make a 13-year-old watch himself and his younger sister get gunned down in cold blood. Are you kidding me? It's that's so sad. Now, for me, that rose the stakes a bit, but I could see how a younger kid would be like, okay, whoa, that's kind of scary. And I feel like that's a good thing, because if you didn't raise the stakes through all of these books when there's 8 of them and you're on the 6th book, then it would be boring. I like how she gradually moves the tension up. I like how the stakes get bigger and bigger as the books go along, because I like how she doesn't sugarcoat things, even though she is writing this for a younger audience. It makes reading it as an adult who only read the first 2 in middle school, because for some reason I could not for the life of me find the other 6 until recently. It makes reading it as an adult enjoyable, because time travel is a thing that's hard for anyone to wrap their head around, and the stakes do get very real very quickly through the books, and it makes it an enjoyable reading experience. And I like how she's not afraid to scare the reader and not afraid to say, hey, these stakes are very real. There is a very real problem that needs fixed. How are the characters going to get out of it? The only thing I could have done without is, if you remember by my previous reviews, there are the rogue time agents, or the bad time agents, Gary and Hodge. Now, Gary and Hodge are, I believe, in their 30s. And Gary is this big, like, bodybuilding, muscular man. And at one point, Jonah had hidden the elucidator and pretended another toy soldier, because it disguises itself to fit in with the time period so it doesn't damage time. It disguised itself as a toy soldier, and so he pretended that an actual toy soldier was the elucidator to trick Gary and Hodge into thinking they destroyed it. So Gary, what he did to get what he thought was the elucidator from Jonah, tackles Jonah and then proceeds to punch him in the face not once, but twice. And I'm like, that is a 30-year-old, muscular, bodybuilding, grown man punching a 13-year-old. He could kill him. And I'm like, I could have done without that, but once again, these people are evil. They're the bad guys for a reason, because they have this horrible plot. They have the ability to execute said plot. We're talking about men that have kidnapped these children from history to sell them off to the highest bidder in the future for some quick cash. But still, you could have taken that out. But like, I enjoyed how she wasn't afraid to make us go, that just happened. Oh my goodness. Like, yikes. But yeah, so far, this is my favorite in the series, because I love how Haddix is not afraid to show the dark side of the villains and not afraid to raise the stakes. It made it so much enjoyable as an adult to continue reading, and the time travel aspect. If you say you understand time travel, let's be honest, you're lying. But anyway, that's enough of that one. So next I am going into Revealed, which is the 7th book in the series. So, I'm hoping that revealed has to do with finally finding out who Jonah really is when it comes to history and who he's supposed to be. But I started it at the park earlier, and it's starting to seem like it's just going to be that his parents find out what him and Catherine have been up to through the other 6 books. So here's hoping. Once again, I'm thinking he's either JB's son or like he gives off King Arthur vibes to me. So I'm excited to see, and if it is just the fact of Jonah's parents finding out, I'm going to be a little disappointed. But we'll see. Alright, I hope to see you next time. Bye, guys.